All right, problem number 4. Aaron with an E and Aaron with an A are playing a coin flipping game. Each time the coin is flipped, Aaron gets a point if the coin is a heads. Otherwise, sorry, Aaron with an E gets a point if the coin is a head. Otherwise, Aaron with an A gets a point. All right. This process will continue, and the first person to score 10 points wins the game. Right now, the score is 8-7 in favor of Aaron with an E. What is the probability that Aaron with an E will win? Alright, I thought I was being clever with the Aaron and the Aaron. But it's hard to read, so I'll have to distinguish them with an E and an A. Okay, so let me scroll down here and give us some room. So the score right now is 8-7. All right, and Aaron is ahead. Aaron with an E is ahead. So he or she, actually this is probably a she. Aaron with an E is usually a she, and Aaron with an A is usually a he. Okay, so she, Aaron with an E, is ahead, and she needs 2 more points to win. Okay, so in the best case scenario, let's look at this in terms of cases. So I would say, well, essentially, the primary thing is that Aaron with an E needs 2 points to win, right? Points to win. Okay? So, best case scenario, let's call it case 1, is that she just gets a heads on the next 2 turns, okay? So, if she wins in the next 2 rounds, so they go 2 more rounds, and so Aaron gets a heads and Aaron gets a heads, alright? In both of those rounds, and she wins, okay? So, what's the probability in this case that Aaron gets a heads in the next round and the next one after that, the next 2 rounds? Well, you know that the probability of getting a heads anytime you flip the coin is just a half, right? So we have half. Let's see. We have a half a chance that she's going to get a 1 out of 2 chance, I guess I should say, that she's going to get a head on the I guess this would be, well, I don't know what number it is. It's probably looks like it'd be the 16th round. but the first one after this 7 to 8 position. Okay, so she gets a heads on this turn, and then she gets a heads on this turn. So there's a 1 out of 2 chance in each case. So so there's a 1 out of 2 chance that she gets the heads on the first one, 1 out of 2 chance she gets the heads on the second one, and so that's a total of a 1/4 chance that she will win in the next 2 rounds. Okay, does that make sense? If you were to draw out a tree, you could look at those 2 rounds, and you could see that either Aaron or Aaron with an A are gonna get a point, right? And there's a 50-50 chance that either one of them will get a point. And if Aaron gets a point here, then on the next round it's either Aaron or Aaron, and they each have a 50-50 chance. Okay? And the same here, you could write out all these possibilities for the next 2 rounds. And the only case where Aaron gets a heads on the next 2 rounds is this case. So we have 1 out of 2, 1 out of 2, so that's 1 out of 4. There's 4 possible paths, right, in the next 2 rounds. So there's a total of 4 possible paths, and only one of them is the case where Aaron gets a point on each of the next 2 rounds. Okay, so that's case 1. Case 1 is where Aaron wins in 2 rounds, so that's the best case scenario. Let's look at another case too, because Aaron could win in 3 rounds, right? Okay, so we have 3 more rounds. Say we go 3 more rounds, and Aaron finally wins on the last round because we know that um, Aaron would have to get the last heads because he'll or she'll Aaron with a she with an E, Aaron with an E will have to get the last one and when she wins. Okay, because once she's got 2, the game's over, right? So that's when. So Aaron will have to get this last one because if Aaron, if Aaron gets, she's got to get one more. She's got to get one of these 2 and then the last one because obviously if she gets these 2, then the game's over. So that's really case 1, and we want to eliminate that case because we've already looked at that possibility. Okay. I'll have to redraw that. Okay, so essentially we've got 3 more rounds, but Aaron would have to get the last one to win in 3 rounds. Okay, so essentially we've got 2 places to put the E. Okay, and there's a and then there's a 50-50 chance of getting. Well, here, let me write this out. Okay, so we have 2 more spots where Aaron could win. She, Aaron with an E, could win on this first round, or she could win, or she could get the point on this round. Okay, and then Aaron with an A would get the other one. So we have 2 possibilities of places to put the E. Okay, and then for each round, there's a 50-50 chance of either possibility coming up. So it's 50-50 times 50-50 times 50-50. Okay? So that is 2/8 or 1/4. Okay? So again, the probability that Aaron with an E wins in 3 rounds is 1/4. Okay? Now you see how I got that? Because we could either have, there's a couple of different cases. Well, yeah, a couple different cases. It could be either EA-E or AE-E, okay? And each one of these cases, there's a 50-50 chance that Aaron with an E wins here, a 50-50 chance that Aaron with an A gets the point here, and a 50-50 chance that Aaron with an E gets the final point, okay? Because we're basically looking at these 2 possibilities in this 3-round scenario. Okay, and in each case, it's just a half times a half times a half that for each outcome, and there's 2 possible outcomes. Okay, so that's why I'm multiplying by 2 here, because there's 2 places to put the other E. The last E has to go at the end, but the other E can either go in the first or the second spot. Okay. So you can see this is 1/8 and 1/8, and we add those together, and that's 1/4. Okay. So just a little further explanation on how I'm multiplying these probabilities and why I'm using a 2. Okay. So let me look at the next case. Let's say that Aaron. Let's do case 3. So let's say that it goes 4 rounds. And so, again, if Aaron wins in 4 rounds, he's got to get Aaron with an E, has to get the last heads on the last turn. Okay, otherwise we're back to one of these scenarios. Okay, so Aaron has to get 2 points to win, and the last one has to be at the end of the 4th round. Okay, so we'll just put the E here, and then she needs. Aaron with an E needs one more win, one more point to win, and it could be in either one of these 3 spots. And once we place the E's, the rest will just be filled in with A's. Okay. And Aaron with an A would get the point. Okay. So in this case, we have 3 places where we could put the E's, right? And then there's a 50-50 chance of each possibility coming up. So it's 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2, because we've got 4 coin tosses, and there's a 50-50 chance that either Aaron with an E or Aaron with an A will win. Okay, So the three scenarios would look like what? They would look like E, A, A, E, or we'd have A, E, A, E, or we'd have A, E, E. Okay, and in any of those scenarios, Aaron with an E will win. All right, and that's why we're multiplying by 3, and then times a half, times a half, times a half, times a half, and this ends up being 3/16. Okay, that's the scenario where Aaron with an E wins in 4 rounds. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's look at case 4. Now this would be 5 rounds. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Aaron would have to win on the last round. But let's look carefully at this. Now he's got to get 2, and when she, Aaron with an E, when Aaron with an E gets 2 heads, that the game's over, right? So she can only get 1 more head in one of these 4. But remember that the score is 8-7, so Aaron with an A will win if the tails comes up. Okay, so if we place 1 more E, let's say it goes here, then in any of these scenarios, Aaron with an A will get 3 heads. So automatically, Aaron with an A will win. So this one, we can't. There's no possibility of Aaron with an E winning if it goes out to 5 rounds. So here, Aaron with an A will win, no matter what. Okay, if it goes to 5 rounds. So essentially, we're just looking at these first 3 cases, right? So case 1, case 2, case 3. So Aaron will have to win in the next next 2, 3, or 4 rounds in order to win the game. So let's add up those probabilities. We have 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 3/16. Okay, so this is essentially 4/16, 4/16, and 3/16, which will give us 11/16. 11 is a prime number, so we can't reduce this fraction anymore. So that is our probability. The probability that Aaron with an E will win the game is 11/16. All right? So there you go.